So I was a college freshman at Southern Illinois University. Also, this is near St. Louis where I lived, which has a long history of struggle with racism. And if you're on the Illinois side, you're either in East St. Louis, which was and is a black ghetto that serves St. Louis and has no tax base, or you're in the, when I was a child, the white towns were mostly all white. So there's a dramatic issue and a great deal of ill ease between the blacks and the whites that clearly was wrong and needed to change. With a sequence of events that started the Selma March, including the death of an organizer and the violence on the march, it got a lot of publicity. At the maximum, I think there were like 600 people on the first three parts of the march. The first part ended at the outskirts of Selma with an attack. The second part was the famous one where they got to the bridge and turned around. The king decided it wasn't safe, he needed to turn around. And the third one went all the way to Montgomery. I was in the part that's called the rally. The last couple of days were over 15,000 people. It was just a real celebration where someone would start a song at the beginning far ahead of us and it would just roll back. One of the surprises was we knew that the National Guard, the Alabama National Guard, were going to be there for security reasons, and they did line both sides of the route. And at each intersection they had jeeps so no one could ram the crowd with a car. But what most surprised me was that the National Guard all had the flag of Alabama, which is also the Dixie flag, sewn on their uniforms, which I was astounded with, as I saw that as a racist issue. It was gratifying afterwards to see how quickly voter registration dramatically turned around in Alabama as well as other places. There was a sense of tension, a lot of publicity at that time by white Southerners that we were Northern agitators. It was dangerous to some extent. There were people killed. A woman was killed after the march, shuttling black youth back and forth to their houses. And I arrived thinking I was doing a good thing, dealing with a lack of justice. What surprised me was how I felt it was a gift to be there. It was a very powerful experience. There were things like King was an incredible orator, and it was just fascinating to hear him speak. The only time I ever heard him. There were other speakers, but just the camaraderie among the people